It is February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. And if no one told you today, I love you. We'll do that again at the end of this, too. So tonight, we are going to read Exodus 37 1 through 38:31, Matthew 28 1 through 20, Psalms 34 11 through 22, and Proverbs 10 through 1. Um, Last couple days, Moses came down from Mount Sinai, broke the tablets because Aaron made a golden calf. Moses was not happy, so he busted the Ten Commandments, went back up to the mountain, got permission from God to go back up and do it again. He had to carve out a stone, the two tablets, and he's up on top of the mountain, and he come back down, and it's kind of where the story leaves off. So, what we try to do every single night before we get started is do the Lord's Prayer. If you don't mind, join in with me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, the power, glory forever and ever. Amen. Exodus 37 1 through 38:31. Bezalel made the chest using ossia wood. He made it 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/4 feet wide and deep. He covered it inside and out with veneer and pure gold and made a molding of gold all around it. He cast 4 gold rings, and attached them to its 4 feet. 2 rings on one side, 2 rings on the other. He made poles from the ossia wood, covered them with veneer and gold, and inserted the poles for carrying the chest into the rings on the sides. Next, he made a lid of pure gold from the chest, an atonement cover, 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/2 feet wide. He sculpted 2 winged angel cherubs out of hammered gold to the ends of the atonement cover, one angel on one end and one angel on the other. And again, we're being redundant. We just went through this several verses and chapters ago. He made them cover of one piece with the atonement cover. The angels had outstretched wings and appeared to hover over the atonement cover, facing one another but looking down on the atonement cover. He made the table from the ossia wood. He made it 3 feet long, 1 1/2 feet wide, and 2 1/4 feet high. He covered it with veneer and pure gold and made a molding of gold all around it. Could have sworn I just read that too. I sure did. It's written twice. Okay. He made a border of handbreadth wide all around it and a rim of gold for the border. He cast 4 rings of gold for it and attached the rings to the 4 legs parallel to the tabletop. They will serve as holders for the poles used to carry the table. He made the poles of ossia wood and covered them with veneer and gold. They will be used to carry the table. Out of pure gold, he made the utensils for the table, its plates, bowls, jars, jugs used for pouring. He made a lampstand of pure hammered gold, making its stem and branches, cups, calyxes, and petals all in one piece. It had 6 branches, 3 from one side and 3 from the other, 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, with calyxes and petals on the branch, 3 on the next, and so on. The same for all 6 branches on the main stem of the lampstand. There were 4 cups shaped like almonds with calyxes and petals. The calyx extended from the underneath each pair of the 6 branches. The entire lampstand with its calyxes and stems were fashioned from one piece of hammered pure gold. He made 7 of these lamps with their candle snuffers, all of pure gold. He used a 75-pound brick of pure gold to make the lampstand and its accessories. He made an altar for burning incense from ossia wood. He made it a 1.5 feet square and 3 feet high, with its horns of one piece with it. He covered it with a veneer of pure gold, its top, sides, and horns, and made a gold molding around it with 2 rings of gold beneath the molding. He placed the rings on the top opposite sides to serve as holders for poles by which it will be carried. He made the poles of ossia wood and covered them with a veneer of gold. Under redundancy, redundant. We've said that like 4, 5, 6 times already. I'm not sure the poignancy, the word I want. I'm not sure why they keep repeating that. It doesn't. It's actually kind of frustrating. Uh, he also prepared with the art of perfume the holy anointing oil and pure aromatic incense. He made the altar of whole burnt offerings from ossia wood. He made it 7.5 feet square and 4.5 feet high. He made horns at each of the four corners. The horns were made in one piece from the altar and covered with a veneer of bronze. He made the bronze. He made from bronze all the utensils from the altar, the buckets for removing the ashes, shovels, basins, forks, and fire pans. He made a grate of bronze mesh under the ledge halfway up the altar. He cast four rings on each of the four corners of the bronze grating to hold the poles. He made the poles of ossia wood and covered them with a veneer of bronze. He inserted the poles through the rings on the two sides of the altar for carrying it. The altar was made out of boards, it was hollow. He made the bronze wash basin and its base bronze stand from the mirrors of the women's work group who were assigned to serve at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He made he made the courtyard. On the south side of the hangings of the courtyard, woven from fine twisted linen, were 150 feet long, with their 20 poles and 20 bronze bases and fastened hooks and bands of silver. The north side was exactly the same. The west end of the courtyard had 75 feet of hangings, with 10 posts and base and fastened hooks and bands and silver. Across the 75 feet at the front, at the east end, were 22.5 feet of hangings, with their three posts and bases on one side and the same for the other side. All the hangings around the courtyard were of fine twisted linen. The bases for the posts were bronze, and the fastened hooks and the bands on the posts were all silver. The posts of the courtyard were both capped and banded with silver. The screen at the door of the courtyard was embroidered in blue, purple, and scarlet fabric. With fine twisted linen, it was 30 feet long and 7.5 feet high, matching the hangings of the courtyard. There were four posts with bases of bronze and fastened hooks of silver. They were capped and banded in silver. All the pegs of the dwelling of the courtyard was made of bronze. Whew, bear with me, y'all. This is almost as bad as reading so and so begat so and so begat so and so. This is an inventory of the dwelling that housed the testimony, drawn up by order of Moses for the work of the Levites, under Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest. Bezalel, the son of Uri, son of Hur, and the tribe of Judah, made everything that God had commanded Moses. Working with Bezalel and Olab, the son of Irishmach, and the tribe of Dan, an artisan designer and embroider in blue, purple, and scarlet fabrics and fine linen. Gold, the total amount of gold used in construction of the sanctuary, all of it contributed freely, weighed about 1,900 pounds. 1,900 pounds. That's a lot of gold. According to the sanctuary standard. The silver for those in the community were registered in the census came to 6,437 pounds, according to the sanctuary standard. That accounted to a becca, a half a shekel, for every registered person aged 20 and over, the total of 603,550 men. They used the 3 1/4 tons of silver to cast the bases for the sanctuary and for the hangings, 100 bases at 64 pounds each. They used the remaining 37 pounds to make the connecting hooks and posts on the caps and bands for the posts. Bronze. The bronze that was brought in weighed 4,522 pounds. It was used to make the door at the tent of the meeting, the bronze altar with its bronze casting, all the utensils of the altar, and the bases around the courtyard, the bases for the gate of the courtyard, and all the pegs of the dwelling at the courtyard. If it was a bronze door, you got to think they're in the middle of the desert. It's hot. The breakdown of Exodus 37:1 through 37:1 through 38:31 says, this section details the construction of the sacred furnishings of the tabernacle, which is the Ark of the Covenant. The ark, the table, the lampstands, the altar, and the courtyard, everything is built exactly as the Lord commanded. The takeaway says God cares about obedience, excellence, and stewardship. When people give willingly and follow God precisely, his presence dwells among them. Faith isn't just belief, it's faithful execution. Totally agree with the execution of faith. Faith doesn't necessarily mean just sitting in one spot. It means going and putting into motion. And I wasn't making fun of what God was doing and why he was doing of saying it. I feel like we're going back and reading the same thing over and over and over and over. All the gold and all the rings and all the bronze and all the altar and the tabernacle, and it seems like we're reading the same thing over and over again. And like I said, I don't understand the importance. I get the dimensions, and he wants everything precise, and there's a reason for it. And I guess maybe we'll understand it one day, but right now it's not making a lot of sense on the redundancy of it. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Matthew 28, 1 through 20. After the Sabbath, as the first light of the new week dawned, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to keep vigil at the tomb. So from yesterday, Jesus had just passed. They were worried about the disciples coming and stealing his body, so they rolled a big stone in front of it. Suddenly the earth reeled and rocked under the feet as God's angel came down from heaven, came right up to where they were standing. He rolled back the stone and then sat on it. Shafts of lightning blazed from him. His garments shimmered snow white. The guards at the tomb were scared to death. They were so frightened they couldn't move. The angel spoke to the woman. There is nothing to fear here. I know you're looking for Jesus, the one they nailed to the cross. He is not here. He was raised just as he said. Come and look at the place where he was placed. Now get on your way quickly and tell his disciples he is risen from the dead. He is going on ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there. That's the message. The women, deep in wonder and full of joy, lost no time in leaving the tomb. They ran to tell the disciples. Then Jesus met them, stopping them in their tracks. Good morning, he said. They fell to their knees, embraced his feet, and worshipped him. Jesus says, you're holding on to me for dear life. Don't be frightened like that. Go tell my brothers that they are going to Galilee, and I'll meet them there. I honestly thought when Jesus raised from the dead that nobody touched him at that point. So I don't know. I have to do some research on that because I didn't realize that the women on the way back to Galilee actually stopped and touched Jesus. Guess I didn't realize that. So meanwhile, the guards had scattered, but a few of them went into the city and told the high priest everything that had happened. They called a meeting of the religious leaders and came up with a plan. They took a large sum of money and gave it to the soldiers, bribing them to say his disciples came in the night and stole the body while they were sleeping. They assured them, if the governor hears about your sleeping on duty, we will make sure you don't get blamed. The soldiers took the bribe and did as they were told. That story cooked up the Jewish High Council is still going around. Meanwhile, the soldiers took the bribe as they were told. That story cooked up in the Jewish High Council is still going around. Huh. Meanwhile, the 11 disciples were on their way to Galilee because Judas hung himself. Headed for the mountain Jesus had set for their reunion. The moment they saw him, they worshiped him. Some though held back, not sure about worship, about risking themselves totally. Jesus, undeterred, went right ahead and gave his charge. God authorized and commanded me to commission you. Go out and train everyone you meet, far and near, in this way of life, making them by baptism in the threefold name, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Then instruct them in the practice of all I have commanded you. I'll be with you as you do this day, day after day after day, right up until the end of age. So the breakdown of Matthew 28, 1 through 20 says, this is the resurrection and the Great Commission. Jesus rises from the dead, proving his authority over sin and death. He then commands his followers to go make disciples, baptize, and teach, with the promise that he will be with them always. Christianity is not passive belief, it's an active mission powered by resurrecting authority. Psalms 34:11 and 11 through 22 says, come, children, listen closely. I'll give you a lesson in God's worship. Who out there has a lust for life, can't wait each day to come upon beauty. Guard your tongue from profanity and no more lying through your teeth. Turn your back on sin, do something good, embrace peace, don't let it get away. God keeps an eye on his friends. His ears pick up everything and moan and groan. God won't pick up the rebels. He'll cut them from the pack. Is anyone crying for help? God is listening, ready to rescue you. If your heart is broken, you'll find God right there. If you're kicked in the gut, he'll help you catch your breath. Disciples go often Disciples so often get into trouble. Still, God is there every time. He's your bodyguard, shielding every bone. Not even a finger gets broken. The wicked commit slow suicide. They waste their lives hating the good. Boy, isn't that the truth? The wicked hate the good. Isn't that true? God pays for each slave's freedom. No one who runs to him loses out. So the breakdown of Psalms 34:11 through 22 says David teaches practical wisdom. Fear the Lord, turn from evil, pursue peace. I think we're all looking for peace, and I found it, I'd say maybe 9, 10 years ago. I found that inner peace. And if that's what you're looking for, you can shoot me a message and I can show you how to find it. It's so easy. God, we make life so hard. David teaches the practical wisdom fear the Lord, turn from evil, and pursue peace. God is attentive to the righteousness, close to the brokenhearted, and faithful to deliver. Trouble is real, but so is God's rescue. The core message is righteous living doesn't mean trouble free, it means never abandoned. Lastly, we got Proverbs, and it's only one verse tonight, so we should actually do like a memory verse. Proverbs 10:1 says, wise son, glad father, stupid son, sad mother. Ain't that the truth? Dealing with that right now, as a matter of fact. Wise son, glad father, stupid son, sad mother. Not my little one, it's the oldest. A single powerful contrast. A wise child brings joy, a foolish one brings grief. Wisdom blesses not just the individual, but the family and legacy. Choices don't happen in isolation. Your wisdom or lack of it affects others. Your wisdom or lack of it affects others. Um, that's what I got. All right, like I said earlier, if no one told you today, happy Valentine's Day. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a better than good night, and we will see you tomorrow, February 15th. Have a good day.